Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to show you some gameplay here for the Spotlight 2 Prologue. I have not played this yet, but already, right off the get-go, you can see that there's more energy actually being allowed for Spotlight 2, so that's pretty awesome to see. Yeah, so let's get this party started. Haven't seen this yet, haven't done any gameplay, but we're going to see. We have 80 energy, which is nice. 5 characters here. Looks pretty straightforward, honestly. And keep in mind, this is difficulty 1, and we don't have Hercules yet, so that's why we're able to actually go through it. They made this other setting. So I usually like going through my Extreme X-Men with Old Man Logan. This did well on the previous Spotlight, and these characters do seem weaker, so I'm just going to use this team to actually just sim the first couple notes. And then we'll actually get into the actual content here in terms of the Alpha Flight, as well as the new Uncanny Avengers. I haven't had a chance to play them yet. So you can see there, we finished the 2 nodes there. It doesn't look like there's a boss node. It's kind of similarly set up to, you know, very, you know, it looks pretty similar to the Orcus raids, right? The only difference is there's actually less nodes here. So now we have 5 Alpha Flight team members here. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and play it. Just because my team is a little bit weaker than my Extreme, but also that way you guys can see, and if you don't have characters built up, the only one that's gear tier 19 on my team anyways for Alpha Flight is my North Star. So, you know, I highly recommend building him up. He's just such a powerful addition in these raids. But yeah, overall, I don't think we're going to have issues because these enemies that we're up against are actually quite weaker. So you'll see right there. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I totally could have easily autoed that. The ultimate just completely wipes the floor with that initial wave and only 4 enemies. So this is probably going to get harder once you go into difficulty 2, but for those of you just checking this out beforehand, you probably don't need level 90, level 95 characters here. It looks actually pretty straightforward. And again, my team is full of gear tier 19 characters, with the exception of my North Star being a level 100 and as well as gear tier 19. Everybody else is 18, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. We'll double check that after. But yeah, overall, I can see definitely some synergies here, but I don't think the Alpha Flight nodes are going to be tricky. I think it's more so the fact that we only have 4 characters as part of the Uncanny Avenger, so they probably have to dial that down a bit until Hercules is out, and then they've refurbished this. But keep in mind, because they know that there's only a 4-piece in this raid, it probably wasn't expected to be too difficult, right? So this is the final boss node here. We'll go ahead. We can, like I said before, could probably auto it, but this team is just gonna get the job done quite easily, given that you know, the enemies are not, you know, quite as strong in the difficulty 1. So just enjoy the calm before the storm. These characters do have 7 red and whatnot, but and oh, actually they have ISO 8 purple as well. But yeah, it's just they've been tuned down because of the difficulty, and yeah, I mean, we have to take advantage of that in the meantime. So it's nice. I think once we get into difficulty 2, then I can probably just play it and see if it's difficult. But yeah, same thing. Opening with North Star's ultimate completely wipes the floor in this first wave. We do want to be focusing in on these Cabal characters because of their synergies. And then, yeah, activate the big ultimate with Sunfire. He's going to wipe the floor, and then we're just getting energy, rinsing and repeating. And it's just smooth sailing. Once again, rinse and repeat. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, just I don't know, to be honest. Like, and where, you know, this is probably where the node would be tricky because of this Undying's mixture, but because of how strong our characters are, I just don't know how we're gonna have an issue with this. And keep in mind, there's 2 other lanes, but you'll get, you know, a chance for obviously your 2 other alliance mates to push forward with you as well, because this is similarly set up to Orcus. So I mean, so far so good. So far so good. I mean, obviously there's more nodes to be had here, like these other ones with the Uncanny Avengers. And then, oh, my bad. So there is more Orcus nodes here. Okay. So there is a bit more here, but you know what? For the sake of this video, guys, we're just gonna try to get to the Uncanny stuff. So I am actually just gonna go ahead and sim it. I don't think these guys will have an issue whatsoever. See, you can see my stats there. Gear tier 18 across the board with North Star. So in the meantime, anyways, it looks like this team is able to get the job done. And we will do the full playthrough though for Uncanny Avengers, because I think that's where it's gonna get a little interesting here. Oh, also another 5 characters here. So I hope my alliance mates just don't mind me just like plowing through this. Okay, so let's take a look here. We're gonna keep on trucking. Yeah, this doesn't look bad at all. Actually, to be honest, you could probably get this done once again with that same Extreme X-Men team, actually. So I'm just going to throw them in there. I'm going to see how they do. they should be able to get the job done. There's a Super Scroll, but Old Man Logan should be able to take care of business, especially difficulty 1. Okay, so my guys, like, more than half of them died, but, like, yeah, that can get the job done. Difficulty 2, probably not as recommended, but then you can see here, then it's going to be followed up by 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes here of the Uncanny Avengers. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. So this is what I got right now, right? So I just built up my Jean Grey, so we're in a good spot. I think, yeah, this should go well. This should go okay. They're all level 95, by the way, guys. In case those of you that are wondering, but yeah, we'll in the meantime take a look at, you know, how this is gonna do. Up against Black Cat at the very beginning. So far, level 95 does seem to be paying off, but because we're up against these Ghost Riders, you have to be mindful of them when you take down enemies. And even in this initial wave with our level 95 characters, you can see here, these enemies are still quite squishy. So again, this is probably not going to be a great playthrough just because of the fact that we're just statistically so much stronger than the enemies that we're up against. But we'll see, at least in the meantime, what's going to be the pain points of these nodes respectively. Take a look there. Yeah, I do like the fact that my Storm Ultimate's ready to go. So we'll just do that. We'll cleanse the board. Yeah, and so far so good. If anything, you probably do need to watch some charges and whatnot. But in the meantime, when you're finishing up these nodes, no need to use your abilities, especially knowing there's only 4 of them, right? And they'll probably scale this quite a bit higher once the Hercules edition does come into the game. So that's something to definitely be on the lookout for. Okay, next node. So similar story to how we started, but remember, because we don't have the full team, right? There are some abilities that are not active, but you always want to be able to use at least Jean Grey's ultimate. I put a Raider ISO 8 on her, so I think that's going to do the most damage right now. And then remember, a couple of our characters do have Raider ISO 8, so I think they're going to be doing some really good AoE. But yeah, so far so good, guys. Feel free to use Beast's ultimate to grant energy as well to the team. That's going to be really, really pivotal when you're kind of transitioning from one wave to another. And then obviously getting Beast to get more turns there. But wow, these characters are hitting hard. And again, keep in mind, guys, there's no Gear Tier 19 on our team yet. So it's going to be very, very interesting once these characters obviously go up against the higher difficulties. But in the meantime, based on my experience right now, anyways, for Spotlight Raid, difficulty 1 for the prologue, you can probably get this done, I would say, honestly, level 85, level 90. You don't need the Gear Tier 18 that we have right now. This is kind of more of a luxury. So it is nice. It gives everyone kind of a nice little entry point for those that just need to be able to do this day in, day out. I'm probably going to be simming this afterwards until I get to difficulty 2, because I think that's where the difficulty is going to pick up. Even my basic attack there, just wiping out that right side is pretty astronomical, right? But I'm so far loving the overall experience with this team because they have so much synergy now. They all been rebuffed, and they've completely reworked Storm in the sense that she's getting charges, and she almost has, like, before they were saying this too, right? That it almost felt like she only had, you know, 2 abilities, being her ultimate and then as well as the basic, because when she did use her charges before, she really couldn't do much until you could get that up. And now, you know, her attacks hit like a truck with or without the usage of the charges, mainly now for her ultimate ability. So I'm loving what they've done with Storm. And as well, Beast has always been a great character next to Falcon. The fact that they have synergies together now, both very strong utility characters, in addition to obviously Jean Grey being that supportive character. But yeah, you can see how fast we just quickly ripped through this Spotlight 1, difficulty 1, sorry. And then finally, I would say in this last and final node, I mean, this Black Knight's probably going to be an issue because this is difficulty 1. It's an absolute joke. We go ahead, activate the big Jean Grey ultimate, and should wipe everything down with the 2-turn ability block. Beautiful, beautiful. But so far, so good, guys. I'm liking how this team is feeling overall. I'm definitely expecting the more difficult raids to come. And it'll be interesting to see how this fits in, too. Because remember, they talked about in 2025 that there's going to be a new kind of raid difficulty modifier that's going to be subjective to each and every different players' experience. So that's going to obviously scale the rewards and whatnot. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to play that in, right? And like I said before, always try to activate the ultimate if you can, just to grab more energy to the team, gives the buffs. But yeah, so far so good, guys. You can see how easily we're able to one-shot this. So in the meantime, I do feel pretty confident that if you're starting off this new Spotlight Raid, level 85, level 90 with this team, even though they're a 4-piece, it's going to get you quite far here until you ramp up the difficulty. So that's going to be very, very interesting, obviously. But yeah, we basically got all the way to the finish line here, one note. So there you guys have it. Hopefully this is helpful. Do let me know what you think, comments below. Thank you for your time as always, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.